Jai Hind viewers. I am Senior Under Officer Prabnoor Kaur Khanna from 2 Delhi Girls Battalion.
And I am Senior Under Officer Tejal Bhavsar from 5 Delhi Girls Battalion.
Today, on this special occasion of the 78th National Cadet Corps Day, we proudly stand in the NCC camp of Delhi Cant. Today, we're privileged to have with us Lieutenant General Virendra Vats, Yudh Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Vashisht Seva Medal, the 35th Director General of NCC.
We plan to have this conversation about the past, present and future of the world's largest uniformed youth organization to which we ourselves belong with utmost pride. So, without a further ado, we will begin with this interaction.
So since its raising in 1948, the National Cadet Corps has come a long way, both in inclusivity and in numbers. In the view of the initial aim of raising the NCC, sir, how do you think NCC as an organization has evolved over these years?
NCC came into existence in 1948 through an Act of Parliament. Prior to that, pre-independence era, around First World War, we used to have something called University Corps.
Yes.
So that transformed into NCC in 1948, and we started with a strength of about 20,000. So from 20,000, we have become 20 lakh. That's 100-fold increase. As a matter of interest, India's population around independence was about 35 crores. So we are today about 140 crores. So you can say about 4 times our population has expanded. But NCC has gone up by a factor of 100 times. We have come to 20 lakhs. Much of this increase has happened in last 10 years. So 2014-15 onwards, we have come to, from a strength of 13 lakh, we have come to 20 lakh. Now what it requires is a growth in infrastructure, right? We have about 900 establishments throughout the country. So aim is that every establishment should have a training area, right? So that infrastructure is coming up in a phased manner. And as we speak, about 40% of strength comprises girl cadets, right? So that is giving representation to women or girl cadets as well. And from about 780 districts in the country, NCC has a footprint on about 700 of them. So I don't think any other organization has such a wider outreach with the society as the NCC has. And every year, 5 to 6 lakh cadets join us, and equal number leave us who graduate. So if you do the maths, we touch 20 lakh families at any given time. In last 5 to 6 years, we would have touched about 30-40 lakh families' lives that we would have touched. So that is I would say, the power of NCC.
It is apparent that there is a growing aspiration among the students to join NCC, an organization which imbibes into them qualities like discipline, leadership, patriotism, physical fitness, and social responsibility. So, sir, how is NCC shaping its curriculum to fulfill the aspirations of the cadets as well as to achieve the desired end result?
Okay, now let's understand the curriculum. We have junior wing and then we have the senior wing. So junior wing, we have about 240 periods allotted to us in which we have to train our cadets over 2 years. And senior wing has about 300 periods allotted over a period of 3 years. That is for the institutional training. So training is basically 2 broad heads: institutional training, what you can call the weekend training. That is, students are trained or cadets are trained at the institution in which they are studying. So a basic training is given to them there. After that, what we have is the camps. So everybody except the first year cadets undergo these camps, where the cadets are put through a concerted curriculum for a period of 10 to 12 days. And in camps, we have fair amount of variety. We have something called Ek Bharat Shresht Bharat camp, in which what we have done is to generate cultural awareness about the different states. We have grouped the states into certain categories. So 2 states have been grouped, where the cadets from the states come together and it gives them better understanding into different cultures. You would have heard the phrase that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So understanding a culture is important. So to give you an example, Union Territory of J&K is grouped with Rajasthan. So these two from the UT and the state, the cadets come together and train for about 2 weeks. Delhi is grouped with Odisha. So that is what we call the Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat camp. Then we have a national integration camp in which cadets are chosen from all the states and union territories, and they come together, about 500 to 600 cadets come together in a camp which has the requisite infrastructure. After this, we have important camps related to every service: Thal Sena camp, Vayu Sena camp, and Nau Sena camp. And the flagship, of course, is the Republic Day camp, which is the pride of every NC cadet. They come here for a month. So what we are doing in the camps is we are upgrading our infrastructure in a big way. We have about 800 plus battalions and 100 plus groups. So every group, we plan to have a training academy which will have all the requisite infrastructure in terms of firing, endurance, and other skills that we want to impart. So this upgradation of infrastructure going on in a phased manner. Now coming to the curriculum, the subjects as such, broadly you can say about 20 to 25% is taken by community development and social service. About 20 to 25 goes for physical conditioning or training activities, that is physical training, obstacle training, drill. So remaining, you can say about 50% is what we are left with. In that 50%, about 70% is generic to the military aspects and 30% is for that every service. So few activities are very popular. Is the firing. We have seen cadets have shown a great, I would say, enthusiasm to learn firing, the flying activities and sailing. So we are now in the process of, I would say, upgrading our infrastructure and also getting it more technology into our education and training.
Sir, you just brought out that the NCC curriculum focuses on physical training as well as firing. So does this indicate that the primary aim of NCC is to enable the cadets to join the Indian Armed Forces?
Training in NCC starts from the young age of 13. That's the age from which cadets in the junior wing join us. Now, that is, I think, too premature to expect cadets at that age to make up their mind as to what they want to do with their lives or what career they want to follow. Having said that, in NCC, we are focusing on developing qualities like discipline, character, commitment. These qualities are not required only in the armed forces. However, it is natural. Some cadets do have, I would say, the love of uniform or the passion to join the armed forces. It is natural because they get inspired by their trainers. And as far as joining the armed forces is concerned, about 5% vacancies are reserved for C certificate holders in the armed forces, should they choose to join. And the due credit is also given to the A certificate and B certificate holders should they decide to join the armed forces. As far as statistics go, in last about 3 years, we have about little less than 26,000 cadets who have joined as Agniveers, and about 500 cadets have joined as officers. So as a matter of interest, we have Honorable Prime Minister, who is an NCC alumni, that ex-NCC cadet, and so is Raksha Mantri Shri Rajnath Singh and also Raksha Rajya Mantri. So goes on to show that you don't have to join the armed forces to make a contribution to the nation. You can contribute to the nation in any capacity, whatever you choose.
As we discussed the historical perspective, NCC only began with the army units. Subsequently, the naval and air force wings were also created. So, sir, what role is NCC playing in creating synergy with the three services, and how is this integration being achieved?
So you're right about NCC starting as an army, exclusively as an army establishment in 1948. Air Force joined in 1950, and 52 we had naval wing established. So that is as per statistics go. And as on this day, Army comprises about 84% of total strength, and remaining 16 is divided almost equally between the Navy and the Air Force. Now, as far as integration with the services is concerned, I think that's in the DNA of NCC. It's a tri-service organization. Some of our directorates are headed by mostly by the Army officers, but also we have cross-staffing and we have enough naval and Air Force officers. And as far as the training is concerned, about 70% of the service training is joint, and only about 30% of training gets into service specific. As for the support that we get from the services, I would like to highlight that we have a very good, I would say, approach by the services in which we are making use of infrastructure of the services for our training. To give you an example, the Army makes its ranges available for firing, as also Air Force allows us the use of the air bases and also the pilots to train our cadets. As far as overseas deployment is concerned, even as we speak, fewer cadets are on board Indian Coast Guard ship Vigraha, which is sailing towards Thailand. And towards the end of the month, some of our cadets will be on board Indian Coast Guard ship Sarthak, that will be sailing from Porbandar. So we have a cooperation or support not only from the three services, but all organizations like the Coast Guard, BSF, CRPF, ITBP, and even organizations that work under the DRDO, that is the HAL or other organization. So it's a whole of nation approach that comes together to support the NCC.
Sir, as per my awareness, the National Cadet Corps of India is conducting interactions and exchange programs with a large number of countries. I believe as we speak that the counterparts of Nepal and Kazakhstan are in India right now. So sir, may you please throw some light on the relevance of these exchange programs and how does this benefits our country?
So the visit you referred to is the ongoing desert safari, where we have a contingent from Kazakhstan and Nepal, which are participating with our cadets, exploring the deserts. So what we have is a youth exchange program. That's the most exciting part of NCC for our cadets. So in the youth exchange program, we have an MOU with about more than 24 countries. Under its ambit, every year, we have about 200 plus cadets who visit us from about 20 plus countries, and about 100 plus cadets from India visit abroad. Now, where it helps our cadets is, helps them, I would say, appreciate diversity, helps them form an evolved worldview, right? That's where it helps them in the exposure. The larger message is that we learn the best practices. Some of these countries may be progressing, as also taking the Indian story abroad, right? Tell the world what India is all about. So India believes in Vasudev Kutumbakam, that is, the world is a family. So it helps us to generate awareness about ourselves and also understand the world at large.
On a cadet strength reaching 20 lakh and a footprint across 703 districts, the NCC is in a position to contribute in nation building in a more substantive manner. So sir, how do you think NCC is accomplishing this, and what is your vision for the National Cadet Corps for the next decade?
So coming to NCC's role in nation building, before I address that, I would like to put nation building in correct perspective. What is nation building? See, nation is different from state. State is more a physical concept. You have a geographical area. You have people living in that area. You have a government that governs them, right? And it has sovereignty over its affairs. That is state. Nation is more an imagined concept in which people living in a geographical area, they identify with each other. It is about forging a national identity, shared purpose, and social cohesion. You know, when you make roads, infrastructure, people say that is nation building, that is infrastructure building. Nation building is bonding the population together. And how NCC does its role in nation building is, to give you an example, see, very recently we had this Operation Sindoor, in which NCC played a significant role behind the front lines. We had cadets getting involved in generating awareness about civil defense issues, distribution of relief material, conducting blood donation camps. So this contribution was also recognized at various levels, and some of our officers were awarded for that. In addition to that, you would agree, nation faces some challenges like natural disaster. We are a country in which disasters do happen, right? Natural or man-made. So we have a scheme called Yuva Apda Mitra scheme, in which selected cadets are trained in disaster relief, and they are networked into the overall mechanism of bringing solace to the population. Then we have ecological issues in terms of deforestation. So NCC has been involved in generating awareness about it and also launching various plantation drives. And things like management of plastic waste, management of electronic waste. We hear that our rivers and oceans are choked with plastics, right? So NCC plays its role in generating awareness and also launching various cleanliness drives. Then various social issues like drug abuse, infanticide. So when cadets at a young age are exposed to these issues and they play their role in generating awareness and addressing these issues, I think that is our part in nation building. As for where do we go in future? Now we are looking at inducting technology in a big way, and two fields in which technology will play a major role. One is the cyber issues and second is the drone. So we plan to introduce these subjects as electives because it will not be feasible to put entire 20 lakh cadets to the same regimen. So the cadets will choose depending on their aptitude and specialization. So if out of, let's say, 20 lakh cadets, even 50% are trained in some kind of cyber awareness, they can at least reduce our cyber vulnerability. And likewise for drones, we will have a structured program to make the cadets aware of specialization and employment of drones and counter-drone measures also. Now in drones, we are also integrating with the armed forces, because the use of drones or counter-drone measures will not be in isolation. It will be in synchronization with the armed forces, so we are addressing that as well. Now in addition to that, the induction of technology is a continuous process, whether it's in terms of simulators, getting better weapons, improving our aircraft. So the induction of technology will continue, but two issues specifically that will be addressed will be drone and the cyber issues.
We are privileged to have this interaction with Lieutenant General Virendra Vats, the Director General of the National Cadet Corps. I am sanguine that not only NCC cadets, but parents, teachers and public would have gained a deeper understanding of NCC through this interaction. Firstly, I would like to thank the DG NCC for his thought and vision for the NCC.
In the same breath, on behalf of all NCC cadets, we would like to assure the DG NCC that we are all committed towards attaining the national objectives, the aims of NCC and the visions that he has described. We are also confident that the platform provided to us by the NCC will enable us to become socially responsible citizens of our great nation. We would also like to take this opportunity to assure the nation that all NCC cadets will make their sincere endeavors to mold themselves into socially responsible and vibrant leaders, to live up to the faith that has been reposed in us. This is Senior Under Officer Prabnoor Kaur Khanna
and Senior Under Officer Tejal Bhavsar
signing off. Jai Hind.